Well, hello there. Well, hello there. Uh, I'm I'm back. I'm still moving a little slow. Honestly, an hour ago, 2 hours ago, I was thinking I was just gonna call it today because I did some dishes. I did a little bit outside, and I was just suddenly overwhelmed with tiredness. But I sat down, chilled out for a while, and but bounced back. So we're still rolling through the after effects of the old COVID. Yeah, if you if you weren't aware, I canceled on the last show on Saturday because I was super duper sick. And if you think back to last week, I mentioned that I had a little bit of a scratchy throat, and I thought it was because the weather was changing. Um, turns out no. Turns out it was uh our good friend COVID-19. Um, seems like I had a pretty moderate case. It was just felt like a flu, kind of kicked me around for a while. Um, but we're through the primary symptoms and still having these sort of periods of tiredness. I feel like I'm burning out real fast on things. So I might move a little slower today. Uh, but I feel well enough to go ahead, so we're going ahead. Um, interesting thing happened because, of course, I was locked up. I was isolating here at home, so I went through the. I had some leftovers. I ate some leftovers. I had a few bits and pieces, and I made myself some things. Well, I was also just having to fill space. So I mentioned this ages ago on Twitter that I had an idea to get instant noodle packets and then recreate the serving suggestion. Instant noodle packets. They always have these the picture here, which has the noodles, but then it has all this stuff. They pile all this extra stuff on there, and then they put a little label that says serving suggestion because none of that extra stuff is actually in the package. Um, and I mean, somebody probably does that, but for the most part, people don't really go and get all this extra stuff and heap it on top of their instant noodles. They just make the instant noodles and eat them. Um, so I had been buying some of the ones that had looked like they had interesting, uh, doable suggestions on the package. And I grabbed one just because I needed something quick and easy to eat while I was sick. And it was this one. And I actually picked up a fresh one because I ate the first one, um, which is something I had never tried before. Uh, it's not ramen noodles. It's Mie Goreng, which is an Indonesian fried, like stir-fried noodle dish. Um, and I was, first of all, very impressed. This thing has 5 packets, 5 little sachets in it. Um, a cooking oil, a chili oil, a soy sauce, a flavor powder, and little crispy fried bits. It's got like, and it. I was quite impressed. This is not like a high end because some of the you can get some of these things like the $4 instant noodle packet. This is not one of those. This is like 75 cents packet, so it's a bit more than the dregs ones. I've got some of those too that I literally throw the flavor packets away. These guys, I'm sorry, Maru-chan branding. Um, I throw your flavor packets away. I don't. They're not good. I buy you because you're the cheapest available thing for just the dry noodles. Um, as if I'm gonna throw the flavors away, I may as well get the absolute cheapest one. This this one, not so. The flavor on this one is very nice. And I want to try to recreate it, and especially recreate this serving plate they got here with all this stuff on it. You can't see it in detail. I'll go over it. I'm going to write it down because I'm also going to follow. I got three things I'm going to follow. One, the picture. Two, what it tasted like. And three, they have the ingredients listed on here, so I can actually try to reconstruct the flavors. Um, but that's the plan. I'm going to make basically this. I'm going to make this instant noodle packet, but without opening this instant noodle packet. Um, and if we zoom in on it, there's some interesting things. And I did read about. I went and looked up Mie Goreng, like the actual Indonesian version of this. And some of the suggestions on the package are like, yeah, those are things they put on there, like lettuce. There's lettuce on this package. It's like that seems like a strange choice. I was reading about it. And, oh yeah, they put lettuce on top of their stir-fried noodles. It's weird. They don't fry the lettuce. They just let's kind of stick it on top. But hi, Shining Spear. I was just going over what the project is for today. Um, did you catch any of it, or do I have to say it all again? I did survive. It's a miracle. I'm still a little beat. I find myself getting tired very easily. So that's not the best, but just the tail end of the place. So the project is while I was sick, I ate one of these instant noodle packs because it was easy, and it was specifically this one. And I had picked it up originally because I had an idea months ago to recreate these fancy platings from the packages. And I was extremely impressed with this instant noodle, just out of the package, just as is. And the stuff on the package looks very reasonable. It's not like sometimes they got some just crazy stuff on there. Like I'm not going to make a whole char siu pork uh, so that I can take a single slice and slap it on top of a bowl of noodles. Um, this one looks like they're all stuff that I can reasonably do. And I was super impressed with the flavor of this thing. Considering it's not an expensive, it's not like a high-end instant noodle. Um, so I'm going to try to make it because I really enjoyed it, and also I want to see if it is in fact better with all this stuff on it. Um, let's switch over to the counter. We've got a few things. Now, I've already gone over it visually, and I've got a bunch of ingredients already, so I'm not totally coming at it blind. We can obviously see the egg. That's the most obvious bit. I'm not going to be able to zoom in very well on this, but so we've got an egg. That's a topping. Over here in the corner, I'm going to get a little bowl just to put under the egg so it doesn't roll around. So an egg. Over here in the corner, we have a sliced tomato, which I've got here. And it's hard to tell, but if you look closely, there are little chopped up bits of tomato in the noodles as well. So tomato. There's green peas and diced up carrots in there, which frozen peas. Peas are one of the things that I say just get frozen. They're almost always better frozen than they are unfrozen because they freeze them in the farm and then ship them off, as opposed to the fresh ones, which are not frozen in the farm and then shipped off. So they keep sort of aging. Get out a carrot. Probably not even going to use the whole carrot because you don't need a ton to get those little bits going in the stir fry. The lettuce you can see on the side here. There's also parsley and cucumber, which are strange to me. Again, this is an Indonesian dish, which I am very unfamiliar with Indonesian cooking. It's really hard to tell, but in the middle, right in the middle there, there's a sliced green chili. So I've got a couple of these little hot chilies. I'm probably going to slice up one of them, chuck it in there. The noodles, we're actually not going to use the noodles from the packet. I picked up some of the right kind of noodles separately, because that was one thing. The packet is about the size of a normal instant noodle packet, so it's actually you don't get enough of a plate to construct this. A single egg would completely smother this amount of noodles. So those are the things that are easily visible, and I've got them handy. Um, things that are not super visible, but I discovered from having eaten one of these and opened it up. Oh, I got the paper out, write stuff down. Open stuff up is that there's five little packets in there, which is quite a lot of little packets. Some of them are pretty obvious. Grabbing a pen just in case I want to write something down. Five of them are some of them are pretty obvious. There's a little packet of soy sauce in there. There's a little packet of. It's not. I tasted it separately. It's not just hot chili oil. It's like sweet chili oil, sweet chili sauce. I could not find an exact replica for it, but we've got some of this stuff, which is this is basically the sweet chili dipping sauce for spring rolls, but this one is pepperier because it's meant to be used as a saucy marinade. So they amped the flavors up, and so we'll use that in the stand for the chili oil. The soy sauce also is not just regular Japanese style soy sauce. This I had to do a little bit of learning about. It is soy sauce. It's Indonesian soy sauce, which is called ketchup, spelled KETJAP. Ketchup. And the name is not a coincidence. Felix, you're officially first today. The name is not a coincidence. Ketchup, our ketchup, the red tomato ketchup, if you trace its history back, originated as Southeast Asian fermented flavor sauces, mostly made of fish guts, but the name was taken from the Indonesian ketchup and just corrupted over the years. I've got, it's not exactly the same. I couldn't actually find 100% ketchup. Camera looks a little bit dim. This stuff. ABC is an Indonesian brand. This was made in Indonesia. It's thick, syrupy thick. Sort of sweetened. It's like a mix of soy sauce and molasses, kind of. It's closer to, because I tasted the little packet in here by itself. Well, I got some in my finger and tasted it. Turn the brightness up just a little bit there. And this stuff isn't exactly what that tastes like, but this is much closer. I couldn't find a local store that was actually just selling Indonesian ketchup. But this is close. So that's going to be, that's two of our packets taken care of with giant bottles. Thankfully, neither of these are really going to go off on me, so I'll get to, I don't have to go through those giant-ass bottles. One of the little packets was very interesting because you couldn't tell what was in it by looking at it or by tasting it. but I read the ingredient thing here. It's the oil. It's a little packet of palm oil, seasoning oil, refined palm oil with shallot. I've got shallot right here. Um, there's also a separate packet of crispy shallots in there. So they're really doubling down on the fact that there are shallots specifically in this. Now I don't have any palm oil, and I'm not going to buy palm oil because